Are you not receiving the results you want in life, or perhaps you don't feel like you're getting what you want from others? Well, today I'm going to talk about living with confidence in order to receive more of what you want. And if you stay until the end, I've got an extra special point for you then as well. Now, I've in my life expected results many times in multiple different areas, and things from others as well, or kind of wanted certain people into my life. Yet I realized I wasn't getting them, and I realized this has been a huge realization that I wasn't acting in the way that I should be, or needed to be the person I wanted to be. Now, I'll give you a couple of examples of what I mean by this. So we'll go into an entrepreneurial example first of all. So I started a coaching business a few years ago, and I don't really do one-to-one anymore. But when I was doing one-to-one coaching, at first I'd invested a little bit, but I was wanting to, people to make decisions, sign up. I wasn't forcing anyone or anything, but that's what I was wanting, so that they could work with me, I could make a difference, and admittedly, obviously, make revenue in the business, because you can't have a business if you can't make revenue or money. And I wasn't being decisive. I wasn't doing those things myself. Yeah, and this is what I see from a lot of coaches, unfortunately. It's like, oh, well, I'm just saving money and, being cheap and all these things. I know sometimes money's a bit more of a struggle for people than others. I've been there. I've been in debt and all sorts. But then they're expecting like people to pay big bucks to work with them, yet they're not doing it themselves. You can't act in one way and expect to get results a completely different way, right? Um, Another example, right? In the dating area, right? I, have attracted in the past one or two, like maybe avoidant or like bit more negative personalities now and then, not super negative or anything, or toxic or anything like that. I'm very fortunate, but I know that's the case of some people. Yeah, I was feeling down on myself. I wasn't feeling great. And yet I wanted to attract a girl who was positive, super energetic, and feeling great. That doesn't work like that, right? You've got to become the person that you want to attract in multiple opportunities in life, right? And when I started acting in a more positive space, I was inspired. I then like met the most amazing girl, and it happened a couple of times, right? And that's also happened in opportunities in the personal growth space. I've met people, had opportunities when I was feeling good, I was living, I was on purpose, I knew who I was, right? You can't be living one way and expecting results in another way. It's about becoming that person right now. It's it's not about being cheap and trying to get everything for free, yet expecting a large amount of money to come your way. It doesn't work like that, right? You've got to take risks, you've got to be courageous. That's one key I've learned. And sometimes this annoys people. Yeah, this is just what I've discovered from my own truth. And it's from the patterns of the people who do well in certain areas, whatever area that is, right? They act in a way that they expect to receive. They become that person right now. So it's a bit like, let's talk about it. It's a bit like eating alone. Let's use a bit of an analogy. Let's use um like going to the, if you're eating, you want high energy, you want a great body, yet you eat rubbish, you don't do any exercise, and you're lazy. It's the equivalent of doing that, right? How can you expect high energy and a good body if you're doing those things? Well, if you keep putting out a negative energy or a scarcity energy, but you're expecting amazing positive results, it's exactly the same as eating bad or not exercising, expecting a great body and high energy, right? That's how I like to compare it with. Now, how is it helping you by perhaps living in negative patterns and not living in your most confident way? And I'm going to give you some tips on this, and expecting different results, right? Okay, so let's dive into some points now. The first one, ask yourself, this is, I always go back to this question, and, repetition is the mother of skills, I say. The more you hear something, the more it's going to sink in, and you've actually got to be living it. But this is the question. What do you want? Not what do you not want? What do you generally want from an instinctive and heart-driven place? Not just logically what you think you should have or what you think you can get. What do you actually want? Be honest with yourself. What do you want? Right? What do you want, like in your health, emotions, relationships, finance, career, spiritually? What is it you want, right? And maybe take some time to think this through. Quiet the mind. I like to use things like binaural beats or just keep my devices away and write things down. So what do you want? The second question, who do I need to be to get those results, right? You want, so business example, you want to generate like £1 million or dollars in revenue, right? The person you need to be is not someone who just does things cheap and things like that and doesn't spend any time or energy on themselves, and then they focus on things that are busy but not productive. That's not the kind of person that's going to generate that. Who do you need to be? You want to attract like amazing people into your life, high energy people that I'm blessed to have in my life, right? You're not going to do that by being negative and sulky about everything, right? So who do you need to be to get those results? The third one, what's a small action you could do every single day in order to get towards what you want? What's a small confident action? Even if it's a little bit scary, just break it down really small. And what is one small thing you can do every day? So for example, you want to attract high energy people into your life. Maybe you're not feeling so good at the moment. Maybe you just schedule 3 lots of a minute smiling to yourself every single day, as crazy as that sounds. Or maybe you just say good morning or send someone a good wish each day. Even if you don't feel it at first, create that little habit. I should have said activity or habit rather than action, because it's going to be something you can repeat. Like, you want to have good energy, going back to that example, good energy and a good body. What's one thing you can do every day? 20 minutes exercise each day. Or maybe you drink like 3 liters of water each day. Now, obviously, know what you need to drink in terms of water. That's just kind of a average. And don't obviously take my word for whatever you need to drink, because you need to know. You'll always consult a professional on your food and drink. But like, that's just an example. What would you do every single day? So that's my guidance, and I've got an extra special point for you as well. Now, this is really going to help you to start living with more confidence, to start receiving. Hang out with people who have the same sort of goals, are going in the same direction, because what happens as human beings is we adapt to our environment. When I've been hanging out with, like, I'm not, fortunately, not like bad or toxic people, but when I've hung out with people who, you know, friendship groups I've known for years, who kind of had these basic goals, you know, live, survive, go out on the weekend and stuff, which is great. And I'm so happy they're happy. That's kind of how I've held my standard. But when I'm hanging out with high successful entrepreneurs or people who want to grow, I start raising my game. Like, I've been hanging out with like 8-figure business owners, and like my revenue goes through it goes through the roof when I've done that. So hanging out with the right people is really going to change your psychology and therefore your confidence, and you're going to act more and you're going to receive more as well. That is also an important thing I thought I'd share as well. So that's what I've got for you today, how you can start living with more confidence in order to receive more. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives for being the best you. And remember, you're in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.